I had just, my son was born September the 2nd, 2008. And he was 3 months, maybe 3 months before, when Barack got elected the first time. And I remember I was sitting up with him because he was fussy. And Lord knows, had he been asleep, I would have been asleep too. Like, even though I was like excited, I couldn't watch it because I was like, if he doesn't win, like I'm over it. Like, so I had planned to go to sleep and I was gonna wake up the next day to the news. But my son was like fussy. And so I was up. And when I heard that he was elected, like it was a moment in time that I don't think, well, first of all, I'll never get back because that's a once in a lifetime moment. But at that moment, like, I flash back to my grandparents who never got to see that. I flash back to friends that I've lost who, if you were in heaven and told them that we had a black president, they'd be like, you lied. What? Like, I flash back to everybody who did not get to be in that moment. And then I just reveled in it. And I was like, for maybe like 10 minutes, I sat there with my hand over my mouth, like, oh my God, we have a black president. Like, it was like, and I will say, policy aside, because I am a firm believer that nobody is ever going to agree with everything everybody does. You're always going to look at anybody, black, white, Asian, Latin. You're always going to be like, I mean, I kind of agree, but you could kind of do this a little different. So it wasn't about the policies and the politics for me at that moment. It was like, my son could possibly become president. My sons could sit around a table and say, when I grow up, I want to be president. And their teacher doesn't say, now, good and well. Their teacher, oh, okay. You want to be like Barack. Like, it was a moment in time. And then his 4 years was up. And then here came Hillary. And then it was like, it was moments where it was just like, okay, so do you do a woman or you a black man? It was like a woman, a black, and it was like, but all in the same, it was like, if she wins, it's like, it's a woman. And if he wins, it's like, it's a black man. So it was still exciting, and it was still a time. And then when he won again, it was like, yeah, you know what now? They set us up for something's going to happen, like, and then it was like, all right, Hillary. And it was like, what happened? Like, I lived now that I did go to sleep on because I was like, it's no way. It's no way. I was like, no, she's going to win. It's no way. It's down. It's no way. And I remember the next morning, my mom and three of my aunts and I sat in Starbucks and we were like in tears. And I mean, I ain't talking about like, play tears. We were in tears. And I will say, I will be honest and admit, for the first maybe 2 days, I was like, but maybe it won't be that bad. Like, maybe he will, we don't believe in all his politics. He's a Republican, we're Democrat. But maybe he will bring some of the job. Like, I will admit, don't kill me. For like maybe 2 days, I was like, I don't get it. Like, maybe, maybe it's not gonna be as bad, y'all. And then it was like, ew. It just was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I thought that. Like, I was like making amends and people didn't even know I thought that. I think that, with all of his just blatant out and open racism, and I think that COVID was, and I hope it is what will be his downfall. I think to myself, like, there's no way that it can't be. I had an aunt who was in December of 2019. She was hospitalized with, she couldn't get her breathing together. They couldn't regulate her breathing, but she had diabetes. She had a bout with cancer. She had different health issues, and she she was hospitalized in DC because she couldn't get her breathing. She was there for Christmas, and then the day after Christmas, they discharged her with flu-like symptoms. She came home on Saturday, and she told my mom that she just wanted to go to sleep. She was tired. And my mom said, okay, well, we're gonna come check on you. She said, no, don't come check on me. I'm tired, and she said, I threw up a little bit. I have a fever, but I'm just tired. And my mom said, do you want to go to the hospital? She said, no, I just want to lay there. I'm just tired. And my mom came to church Sunday morning. I was like, Mom, what's wrong? And she was like, Wanda's not good. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, something's not right. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, just the way she sounded. Like, she sounded tired of, like, just being sick. Like, she was sick. She had flu-like symptoms, and she was throwing up, and she couldn't catch her breath. And so my mom went to check on her, and like an hour later, I got the call that she had passed. And we know now that she passed from COVID. And I think the hardest part about it is that to think that he sat on something like and said that it was going to go away. It was going to disappear. Breaks my heart, because I feel like, and I know when it's our time to go, it's our time. Like, the Lord will call us home regardless of a pandemic or not. But I feel like if they knew what it was, and if they knew about COVID, then they might not have been so quick to release her. I feel like if COVID was around and it was, a pandemic, then maybe. And I feel like I will always live with what if, and I blame him for that. I do. I blame him for, I will always wonder, what if he had have said, there's this virus, and we've been briefed on it, but it's not as bad as it can be, or it's not as bad as it will be, but it's around. If he had said something. And I think the way he handled it was just, it was in the arrogant manner of the man that he is. It really was. It was nothing short of just arrogance. They told him about it in January, but the press was told not to come out with it, but to focus on Kobe Bryant's death. And I remember the same week they talked about COVID was the same week, unfortunately, that we lost Kobe. But every media outlet, every newspaper, that's all they talked about. And then you see, I think it was the Inquirer, some newspaper, and like this little section in the corner, it said China virus or something like that, COVID virus from China. Like, it was so small that it was almost saying, like, milk is on sale. And it was like, and back to Kobe Bryant. And it was like, they were told not to make a big deal about this because it's contained, and it's, it's in China, and it's just for Chinese people. Like, it was just, and I feel like while the rest of the world was on it, we were suffering because of his arrogance, because this could not be happening. Now, God forbid this happened on Obama's watch. It would have been, I mean, they probably would have tried to lock him up. Like, it would have been, all hell would have broken loose, excuse my French. But they would have tried, he would have been under the jail. But I just feel like there were so many lives lost because he refused to get on it. Not because we had a vaccine, or not because it wasn't that bad, or not because it only affected this people, but because of his arrogance. And this was not going to happen while he was president. So I think I sit here even today thinking that there were so many lives that did not have to be lost.